So my name's Amr Kehila. I'm a pharmacist from the sunny coast in Queensland. Started boating and fishing with my father. We grew up in Tasmania, so we spent a lot of time looking for trout on the Tasmanian lakes. The design ethos around the boat was to focus mainly on sight casting for tuna and pelagics, particularly giant trevally. I think I first found out about the Contender boats through some advertising by Sam Walrock, and then quickly started doing research on the old forums and started to look on Craigslist to find my hull in the States. So the way I got the boat here was through Import Boats USA. I did roll on, roll off. Importing the boat was very simple. Shipping the boat roll on, roll off was approximately $4,000 or so. And import duties and so on were pretty low because the purchase price of the old hull, was not that high. Probably only was around 40,000 Australian dollars in the end. So duty on that was actually quite fair. So I got some information off of Kurt and a whole bunch of other guys on some Facebook groups for Contender Boats Australia. And we kind of shared a lot of information about testing of outboards, scuppers, bilge access, and underfloor rebuilds and redecorations. And a lot of my inspiration came from the Hull Truth forums in the States as well, because these boats have been rebuilt a lot in the States, and a lot of people there took a lot of photos underneath and did the entire transition. So strapping a 450 horsepower supercharged V8 to the back of a Contender 21 wasn't the best idea, but it was my idea and I stuck with it. Yeah, everybody said it was a terrible decision. Too much money and too heavy. But as it turns out, it runs like a dream. It's very smooth, really enjoyable. So we got the transom re-rated to 450 horsepower. It was as simple as just taking it to a marine engineer and having the transom recertified, inspected for all different kinds of things. There was actually nothing wrong with the transom, and it didn't require any fortification to hold that weight or horsepower. So yeah, we were pretty happy with that. No, the uprating didn't take any convincing. I'm a legal drug dealer, not an illegal drug dealer. I like that. So the way we built the boat was we did a full tear down of the entire hull. We ripped out the sole of the boat. We ripped out most of the rear stringers to accommodate the 3 lockers at the back. We ripped out the in-floor bait tank as well. We modified the console. Of course, it's had a complete rewire and enlargement of the console, as well as trapping all of the water to run all the way to the bilge from every place on the boat, basically. The first thing that we wanted to do was make sure that we had really good bilge access. Because the whole aim of the boat was to hunt tuna, we wanted to have a radar position that was unobscured and also not harmful to humans. So we wanted to put it as high as possible for the best signal, same reason. We wanted to have the ability to have some real estate for the other electronics up on the second station. So that's why we necessitated the second pod in between as well. So the tower's definitely not for high speed, it's just for cruising around, looking for birds and sight casting if you can handle it. It feels a little sketchy being in the tower, that's for sure, but you do get used to it. In the future, we're likely going to change the top of the tower's design. We need to bring the weight of the tower down to that middle level where it doesn't cause as much force on the center section of the boat. Probably the most impressive thing about the boat would be the electronics package. Even though the outboard is pretty wild, fitting that quantity of electronics into such a small space was a really, really big challenge. And Peter at Kevlar sorted that out for me very, very well. So we've got the 16-inch Simrad NSS on the front, and then we've got the 24-inch NSO on the rear of the console. Up the top we've got a 9-inch NSS, and we've got dual helm, and we've got a transfer switch as well. We're running the Mercury racing control box, which takes a bit of getting used to, but it's really buttery smooth and we love it a lot. We've got the custom wrap steering wheel and powder coat as well. So we've done a full JL audio sound system, which absolutely cranks. It's very loud, good quality sound as well. A lot of effort went into planning and speaker placement as well. Just needs a bit of a tune now. We've got 2 amps running the whole system. The transducers that we chose were the high and wide and the low frequency SS from Amr. They've been running quite well and they work very well at speed, particularly with their placement in the clean bilge. Other additions to the boat included the Mercury K-planes, biggest size that you can get. Information about how to fit those came from Mark the Russian at Crudercraft, which was very helpful. We put the Bob's Machine jack plate as well in anodized black, so it all matches. So yeah, people often comment about the trim tabs. They look like massive big flippers. They are justified because they're on a correct angle and a small amount of input only puts a very small amount of the blade into the water. So it takes a bit of getting used to, and it's going to take a long time for me to learn how to make it ride correctly, but they're the best option for the boat, and so far they've been really enjoyable. The brands of the equipment that we chose to use on the boat were chosen particularly because of their integration and their ability to work with the Simrad system. So we chose the brands that we chose because we can integrate everything. We chose Motor Guide, Mercury, Simrad, JL Audio, because it's all available on the same system. The integration was important to us more so than the particular merits of some products outside of that integration. The lighting that we went with was the Lumishore brand. Quite an expensive choice, but again, chosen because of the integration and also the warranty that they offered. Putting the Mercury 450 on the back of it, and of course adding a whole bunch of weight from the batteries in the console, all the electronics, all the tower work and so on, has changed the characteristics of the boat, but it's now still achieving at least 90 kilometers per hour, but it's much more smooth now, much more stable, and it's predictable. The boat turns really well. You don't have to worry about the nose digging in, and the stern doesn't flick out either. So the tower most likely acts as a bit of a windshield, slowing us down to a degree, but the extra weight has somehow improved the dynamics of the boat. So the Contender 21, obviously a 21-foot boat. If you compare it to the 23 Open, it's got the same running surface. So overall, that's why it performs so well for its size. It's a very beamy boat, so it's quite stable despite its 24.5 degree dead rise. And now we think that it probably weighs in and around 2.2 ton. So we maintained the original fuel dimensions, but we pushed the tank a little bit forward just to make sure that the boat remained balanced with all the extra weight in the rear. So that's a 90-gallon tank that we got from Sunshine Marine Tanks in the States. We had it imported separately. So for everybody who doesn't like Freedom units, that's 340 litres. The trailer we chose is a full aluminium trailer with bunks. The trailer also has a big Lone Star winch on the front of it. So in those windy conditions when it's unreliable to drive it on, or we've got a novice driving the boat, someone else in the car, we can get the boat quickly on without any damage caused. If I was going to change anything about the boat, it would be the tower. It was a great idea, but it wasn't executed exactly how it needed to be executed, so likely there's going to be a Tower 2.0. Jason in the machine shop at Kevlar is already looking at bigger aluminium tubing and a new design for that second station, so that will be coming soon. My favourite thing about fishing and boating is the freedom. Once I hit the break wall on the Sunshine Coast and head out offshore, all of my problems are behind me and I can just enjoy the day.